My name is Jake Friend. I'm with THW Design. I've been in planning and design for about 26 years now. And what I'd like to talk to you today is about healing spaces and healing gardens. And throughout history, as you know, many cultures have actually gravitated towards and had no choice but to embrace the natural environment. So what we have is the key elements, and I don't have a lot of time to actually go through everything with you, but I wanted to boil it down to some of the key points of creating a space. And that's a quiet place. When you come into a garden, it's just like a room in your home. It has to be an extension of your home to create that place which is free from distraction, and it has to be somewhere where people actually engage and embrace and calm down and create that space for them. And this may be just like your home where you go out to the edge of a lake or you have a bench or a park. That is the same kind of environment that you want to create for people within your community. And it can't be a place that's just left over within the community. It has to be planned and organized. And it actually something that actually creates that healing environment that you're looking for in your community. It can't overlook the dumpsters or be next to the kitchen area. It needs to be something really special. So as we go through, we want to make sure that these spaces are truly accessible and they're safe for your residents as they're going through the community. They actually feel that they can move through the community without encumberment. And it has to be secure and allow your staff to move them through that space. We use a rule of 5 foot to 7 feet on all of our pathways, and we create an edgeway on the walkways that it has a truncated dome or some type of special pavement that allows them to navigate cleanly through the space. And then there's landmarks, and what we do is those are benchmarks or landmarks in the landscape that create that iconic element that you want that says, I'm in the right space, I'm heading back to the clubhouse, I'm heading back to my home. And also, most importantly, socialization. We're spiritually, emotionally connected to one another. We have no choice in that. And we have to create these environments that create that social bonding. And it can't be just a bench sitting in the landscape. They have to be spaces where you can have multiple types of venues, large groups, small groups, or even private groups to gather together. And that's really important as we plan our gardens. A lot of times we're limited on space, so how do we create all that in one space? And examples here, it may just be a small gazebo next to a water feature, something that creates that environment where nature is brought in and the birds and the butterflies. And then we just create this environment that's truly accessible and allows people to go through that. And when I say well landscaped, what I'm looking at is it has to be full of nature and flowers and texture and sound and water and all the smells that bring back the connectivity to this environment. And those are the shadow lines, the patterns, the embracement of the trees above you. All that's healing to you and me as we walk in these spaces and we disconnect from that chaos of society. And we think that's really critical. And there's just little elements, this tactile elements, the birdhouse, the little bird bath, the black-eyed Susans where the people can actually go up and touch them. It's critical that they be able to touch and smell the flowers and stuff like that in the environment. And so we look at this as a destination. And you don't just go out into a garden space and you just walk in and sit down. There has to be a sense of where you're going within that space. So there's rooms, special rooms for gardening and socializing and meditation. And these may be little woodworking shops or places where they do outdoor pottery or they're gardening. And those are destinations that are a rhythm of everyday life that has to do with that garden space. And these could be meditation. There's many cultures. We're working with a Jewish society and they have sukkahs, and we have to plan for a sukkah within the garden so they can have their ritual religious beliefs take place within that garden space. So we take that into account in everything that we're planning. Texture, color, sound, fragrance, all of those key elements, things that we take for granted every day, we have to put those in our environments and create that environment that just is truly healing and makes the resident want to engage that. Touching the flowers, embracing. We're very physical and tactile people. And a lot of elements that we can have in that space that create that healing is really critical. So we put in a variety of different lambs there and different fragrances, rosemary and stuff like that, that actually heighten the senses. So I implore you to ignite your imagination and create that healing environment for your seniors.